Okay, well, let's find our seat together. Feels like some new energy just came in, and it feels very this for me. And I had a hard time getting to sleep last night, which is not normal for me. And yeah, that beautiful full moon that's coming in is just like, so let's come in and just support our nervous system this morning. Let's just begin by placing one hand across the forehead and bringing one or two fingers into the notch of the throat under the Adam's apple. As we begin to go low into the pelvis and begin to sip our breath slowly up our spine. And then that exhale out the mouth with that HA sound. It can be audible. Just to begin to support the nervous system with our sound, the vibration, as well as the vibration that's coming through our hands. Dropping the awareness down, go deep into your tailbone and slowly draw the breath up. Let the ribs move out. Let the heart open. And then exhale and just empty out and soften in all the tissues of your body. Drawing in that recharging, nourishing breath. And then releasing out pressure, stress, tension, overthinking, monkey mind. Let's take one more breath here. And then let the hands release and let the arms and hands just shake out. Place your hands now on the outside of your low ribs. So we have this imprint of support, a guide for our breath. As we draw our breath from that low spine, we draw it up and the hands move out like wings, the ribs open. And as we exhale, the ribs soften back in toward our spine. Kind of like we're inflating the balloon here of our belly, our ribs, our diaphragm, our liver, our lungs on all sides. And then we deflate, we release the pressure valve and we let go. This breath even supports very strongly the vagus nerve in feeling harmony. We have side bodies and a back body that we often forget about in our daily life and can forget about with our breath. So as you draw the breath in, feel the whole circumference of your torso filling up. Just like a balloon on all sides. Exhaling, releasing out all the air. So it's easy to forget about the ribs, and we want the ribs to move out like wings because they're designed to move in that way. Inviting in more oxygen to the cells of our body. Take one more breath here. And then we'll let the arms and the hands release. Let's take our right hand to the left side of the neck, right over the vagus nerve on the left side here. Left hand will come to the outer right arm or shoulder. As we take 2 deep breaths, we'll continue with that HA sound out the mouth. Feel the healing energy flowing through your hands. And then we'll smooth the left hand slowly down to the right elbow. The right hand smooths down to your heart. Take a breath here. Then we'll slide that left hand down to the right wrist. And both hands are going to smooth down your sternum, diaphragm, and belly, resting over your navel for 2 deep breaths. And then the left hand comes to rest on the right side of your neck, right hand on the outer left arm. 2 deep breaths here. The right hand smooths down to the left elbow. The left hand smooths down to your heart. Enjoy a breath here. The right hand smooths down to your left wrist. Both hands smooth down the front spine, belly, resting over your navel for 2 deep breaths. Releasing when you're ready. Let your hands shake out. We're going to slowly transition onto our feet, and along the way I invite you to pause in a bent knee forward bend. Feet are under your hips, knees are bent, head and spine are cascading over your legs. Hands on earth or elbow tips, all moving into this visualization of standing under a cool waterfall that's just flushing out tension in our spine and neck. We can gently move our head, yes, and turn the head, no. And then let the head release. Take another breath here. Hands meet your big toes. We're going to slowly rise up standing, sweeping our hands to our inner ankles, up the inner shins, inner knees, inner thighs. Smooth out to your hip bones. Pull up the side ribs to the shoulders. Circle back down and massage the side ribs. Deep breath in. Exhaling out. One more time. Strengthening our spleen river. Good. And then let the body shimmy and shake. Let's shake it out. Let's let that energy just flow and move through us. Good. And let's bring the spine into constant bear. Let's allow the arms arms to be heavy and loose, like Gumby arms, just smacking into the lower back, bringing in some circulation into the kidneys. And we can let the heel, the opposite heel, lift and propel us side to side. If we feel dizzy at all, we keep our head in neutral, our gaze out in front. Sometimes we just have to go with the chaotic energy to move through it. Let it move us, clear us, bring in new, rejuvenating inspiration and energy. And then we'll slow down the blender here, nice and naturally. Eventually the blender stops, and we'll pause to feel the movement in our body while in stillness. Dropping our awareness down into our feet and feeling the roots of our feet grow deep into the earth. Now we're going to turn our palms forward. So make sure there's a slight bend in the knees. Tailbone is dropping, like we're plugging the tailbone into the earth. As you inhale, let the hands float up to face height, and then exhale, palms down as we move the energy down into our legs, feet, into the soil of the earth. We're drawing in the fresh inspiration, energy of this day, what it has to teach us as we bring it into our body. And then we release out the old, stagnant energy, old ways of being, of responding to life that are no longer serving us. We bring balance to the fire element of the summer season with our breath. Now the next 3 times that we make that HA sound, let's make it audible. Bringing all of our own energy back to our body. If we felt really pulled up, overstimulated. Good, now pause. Right in front of the hips, we're going to inhale up the front spine. Exhale out into the energy field, clearing it of energy we don't need to be taking on. Other people's energy, or even our own patterns that aren't serving us and others. One more time, drawing up that earth energy into the body, clearing our field. Beautiful. Now we're going to let ourselves move like water here, side to side. We're going to shift our weight. Arms, joints are all loose. Go low. And we'll play a little bit with picking up that opposite foot, kind of working a little bit of balance. This might be what you feel like these days right now. I know sometimes I do. It's like, do I still have at least one foot on the ground? And am I connected to my core and my center? And then I come back to the earth and I balance. Some of us have been in a car for 4 days. Some of us are navigating all of just the fullness of the summer and all of its glory and fullness. And then just let yourself pause, breathe, Spend a little bit more time rooting through that balancing foot. Come on over to the other side. So there's an activation of the core. We've got to draw to our center if we're going to stay balanced. If not, we're going to fall over. Good. And then we can come back to the earth and the water. Go low as you breathe. Good. Now we're going to pause and we're going to take a hold of the full moon. And we're going to draw the full moon up to the right. We're going to reach our left heel up. Reach, reach, reach. Like we're putting the moon back in the sky. Good, and then we'll lower down. Back to center. Inhale the other side. Right heel lifts. Reach, reach, reach. Long through the right side body. And bringing the moon back. Just follow your own breath side to side. You can look up at that bright, beautiful moon illuminating our world, our inner world, our emotions. Good, and now we'll bring the moon down, and we're going to circle the moon up to the right and up and overhead. Over to the left and toward the earth. So going with your own pace, with your breath. There is a bend in the knees as we hinge forward. Letting the spine come into this spiral. And then we'll pause by the earth and we'll switch our directions. And then we'll pause toward the earth and we'll slowly rise up vertebrae by vertebrae with our moon. We'll take a breath here. We'll exhale, turn the palms down and push the energy down through the legs into the feet. Good. And we'll step out and we'll let the body do a little shake out. Good. Yeah, and we're just gonna move right into our full body nervous system release shake. So make sure your mat is clear. And we're gonna start in the feet. And we're just gonna let the feet start to move, and they might be picking up off the earth or just heels. And we're gonna let that movement move up the legs, up the spine, up through the arms, up through the head, and we're gonna exhale. Good. Again, inhale, exhale. One more time. If you aren't smiling or laughing, let's let it out, ladies. Good. Bring it down, bring it down. Yeah, okay. Let's inhale up, palms turn down, exhale. We stirred it up and now let's ground it down. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's place one hand on our heart, one hand on our belly. Feel our feet rooting down. Feel our breath moving low, soaring up through our wings of our ribs, our heart. Exhale out. Right, good work. We're going to move our bodies down. And we're going to move our bodies down onto our mat, onto all fours. And let's have our blocks available. So you can use your blocks in all fours. Hands are on the blocks, or you can bring them to the mat. And we want to position our hands away from the body. And we're really in that awareness of clawing the mat and strengthening the fingers while lifting the palms to help take pressure out of our wrists. Eyes of the elbows are turned toward each other with that nice micro bend. Let's bring awareness to our spine as we take a breath here and out. Let's draw the tailbone under and flex our spine into our cat shape, pressing hands and feet into the earth, drawing the back ribs up. And as we exhale, the tailbone lifts, the spine extends, our heart opens. So you're welcome to slow this process down or to move breath and then movement. Let's see if we can bring some more awareness to our shoulder blades. As we're tucked into the cat shape, the shoulder blades are smoothing off the back. And as we find cow, we feel the shoulder blades activate in and down the back, bringing that smile through the collarbones. And we're going to find a neutral spine here. And we're going to let the left hip reach back toward the left heel. Right hip comes around toward the right heel. Heart comes forward as we move into our hip circles. It's like we're stirring the pot of our pelvis with probably a cool summer soup like gazpacho or something. Just waking up through our feet, our knees, our hips, our back. We'll pause up top. We'll switch directions. And we'll find a neutral spine. We'll let the knees separate wide. Draw the big toes together. We'll let the sitting bones reach back toward our feet as we rest our head on our hands or on a block. Just letting go into the earth. Just allow the excess noise of the mind to drain out your head into the ground. And we'll slowly just lift the head, stretch the arms out in front, and then walk the arms over to the left diagonal. Reach your right hip back toward your right heel. Your head resting in line with your spine, taking those deep, full breaths into the right side ribs, back ribs. Bringing that prana into our lungs, which is going to trickle into the heart. One of our main organs of the summer season, in Chinese medicine, is our heart. Good, let's walk our arms over to the right, left hip reaches back toward the left foot. Extend your arms and spine. Bringing in the breath into the left ribs. Feel the way your breath is massaging your organs. I love to be massaged. And let's walk our arms out, back in front. We'll slowly rise up out of our hips when you're ready. We'll tuck our knees again underneath the hips. Tuck the feet under. Walk the hands away from the body. We're going to take our right leg behind us, toes tucked under, floating forward onto the toe box, heel lifts, and then extend the heel back, pressing into the backs of your toes. Resist the urge to drop the head and instead let it reach long out of your spine. Yeah, and then let the heel reach back. Let's take 2 breaths as we send fresh blood from our right calves into our heart. Let's draw navel to spine now. Right leg extends behind the body. We're going to bend the right knee and actively press the right foot up toward the sky, thigh bone lifting. And then extend the right leg behind your hip. And now we're going to cross the leg over to the left and let the toes meet the floor. And now we're going to turn and gaze at our right toes. Feeling that arc through our spine. Those of us who hyperextend our elbows like me, make sure that elbows keep that micro bend. And then let the leg come back behind your right hip. We'll bend the knee one more time, flex the foot, and press the foot up toward the ceiling. Extend out your right knee. And then straighten the leg and lower down. Second side, left leg extends back, toes tucked under. We first unfurl the sole of the left foot by rolling forward onto the toes and then reaching the heel back. So lots of activation through the fingers, the lift of the palms, strengthening the arms and the channels to the heart. Now we'll reach the heel back. We'll take 2 breaths, sending that blood to our heart. Fresh blood into the arteries and veins. Draw navel to spine now. Let the left leg extend behind you. Bend the knee and press the left foot up toward the sky. Extending through that left quad, out the knee. And then straighten the leg behind. We'll take it over to the right. Let the toes meet the earth. Gaze over the right shoulder at our left toes. And then let the leg come back behind you. One more time, bend the knee, press the foot up toward the sky in this half bow. And extend the leg and lower down. Let's separate the knees apart again. Let's find our child's pose. If you need to do any release of the hands or the wrists, just let them shake out, let them turn. And then let the head rest. Melt your heart. And slowly rise back up. Let's find our blocks. A little bit of release in our hips and legs. And we're going to take our right foot forward. We're going to heel toe our right foot out to the edge of the mat and turn the toes out slightly to the right, bringing our blocks inside of the front leg. So let's stay high here to begin, lifting through the chest, sending the shoulder blades down the back and letting that back left thigh psoas release toward the ground. Feel free to pulse and move and explore over the rootedness of your feet so they're supporting your knees. And then we're going to take our blocks down to that lower level. You can stay up on hands or you can lower to elbows. We're going to come into a deeper release here of the back thigh, and we're just going to allow the tailbone to release, allow the head to drop, breathing the nectar of your breath up your spine, rejuvenating it with prana. And helping to just discharge this kind of upper trap neck tension that we can experience from holding our heads up all day and moving them forward. You always have the option to back off, come out, and to ease your way back in with your breath. And then we'll slowly rise back up, hands on blocks. We'll bring the blocks up. We'll heel toe that right foot in. Let's move our blocks forward and draw the back knee up, straightening out the back leg as we extend out the heel. Rise up through the spine here. 3 breaths. The front foot is in that action of pressing down, isometrically fanning out, so there's that tone of support through the pinky side. And then let's step forward. Then we're going to switch our legs, right foot stepping back behind our knee pad, lowering the right knee down. Heel toe the left foot out to the edge of the mat, turning the foot out to open up this inner channel of the left leg. Let's stay up high here. Let the shoulders drop back to support the opening of the hips. Pulsing and moving in any way that's calling to you through the support of the feet rooted down. Notice if the breath wants to rush, and just invite it into safety. It's safe to slow down to breathe. There's nowhere to go right now, other than inside. And when you're ready, you can explore going a little lower, hands on low blocks or elbows, or you can omit the blocks as well. And then we'll come into this deeper quadricep, psoas, opening here, and we'll let the spine just come into that cat shape. The jaw and the face are soft. Lift the head and come up halfway. And eventually all the way up on our blocks. We'll heel toe that front foot in. Move the blocks forward. We'll draw the back knee up and liberate our back right leg as we lift through our heart. And then we're going to lower the right knee down, followed by the left knee. We're going to make our way onto our bellies with our blocks. So we'll come down onto our belly, and we're going to take our blocks up to this second level height. Then we're going to make an A shape with the edges of the blocks. You can always choose to go to lower blocks if it feels like too much of an opening for your chest. But we're simply going to tuck the top corners of the blocks under the front shoulder bones. So the rest of the blocks kind of hiding a little bit under the armpits, and the arms are going to rotate in, and the backs of the hands will rest on the earth. And then we're going to slowly lower the forehead to the mat. You can wiggle, jiggle the legs back behind you, and then just let the hips wiggle side to side in that rocking motion. And then rest in stillness here for a few breaths, feeling the support of the blocks under your shoulder bones, allowing gravity to help release the fascia tissue of our chest that's holding our lungs, which is protecting our heart. Now see if the nectar of your breath can move from the tailbone and follow your spine up to the space between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Yeah, letting the nectar nourish the back of your heart. Now we're going to plug the tops of the toes down into the earth, hugging the inner heels toward each other isometrically. We're going to draw tone up the legs so the kneecaps lift, the buttocks and low belly tone. We're going to let the chest and the head rise off the mat, and now the shoulder blades are going to activate in toward each other, lifting the arms. We're going to let the palms turn toward each other and extend our fingers back toward the wall behind us, continuing to lift the shoulder bones off of the blocks. Beautiful. Breathe. Feel the nectar of the breath through your spine. 50% effort here. 50% lengthening the tissues, softening them. And then slowly release back to the blocks with your shoulder bones and mindfully lower your forehead to the mat. Release the legs and let them rock side to side. And rest in stillness. We're going to plug the tops of the toes once again down into the earth and draw that muscle energy up the legs to the core, to the back. Locust pose here, spine lifting, head rising. Shoulder blades activate in to tone the rhomboids and to raise the arms up toward the sky and then reaching behind you. Option to float the legs and feet a couple inches off the earth into full locust. Let those shoulders continue to draw away from your blocks. Beautiful. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. When you're ready, slowly lower back down. Let the forehead rest. Let the legs and hips relax. Good. Now we'll remove the blocks. We're going to keep one. We're going to keep one block. And we're going to roll onto our right hip. We can bend our knees or we can keep the legs straight. And we're going to take our right elbow on the other side of this block. It's at the second level and it's going to rest right under the armpit. So it's threading back. And your right hand is supporting your head. Left fingertips are on the floor, supporting the descent of the weight of the armpit into the block. Oh, so there's likely sensation. So breathe. Exhale out the mouth. Pressing right into the serratus anterior muscle that connects rib cage to scapula. Helping to liberate this part of our side body that holds a lot, including a lymph node. Kind of can get sticky in here, which inhibits us from breathing. It inhibits us from having our shoulders feel healthy and good. So we're going to take our left fingertips on the mat here, press down, and now take the left shoulder back, any amount, left chest back. We're just turning the chest up toward the sky. And now we're kind of coming onto a new part of the serratus anterior muscle. And you can even let the left arm rest on your left hip and continue taking that left shoulder blade in and down the back. Take the nectar of your breath and bathe it into this sticky, sensational area. And then let your left hand come back to the floor to support you as you press down into it. Rise back up all the way onto your right hip and pause to feel. Is your right shoulder more relaxed back home? You feel more space in this right shoulder girdle. So we're helping our hearts to just be set free here, and we'll make that transition over onto the left hip. And we'll bring the block under the left armpit. We'll support our head with our left hand. Left elbow is on the earth. Right hand is like our support to control the descent of our weight down onto the block. So if we're not quite ready to go all the way in, we can lift up and out a little bit. Breathe. It's very easy to be distracted right now, yeah? Lots going on around and outside, and so to take some time and go into these nooks and crannies that we might forget about and bring them some space, all to help our heart to have space to digest what it's holding and taking in right now, emotionally, energetically, and to allow it to continue to guide us in its highest truth, priorities. All comes from our heart energy. So as the right fingertips press on the mat, we can turn the chest, taking the right shoulder back, and we come onto that back part of the anterior serratus anterior muscle. And the right arm can rest on the right hip if we'd like to continue taking the right shoulder blade back. Hopefully it feels a little more spacious to make that movement from opening it on that side. And we'll take one more cycle of breath here. And we'll let the right fingertips come on the earth to support us in coming all the way back up onto the left hip. Just taking a few moments to notice how our left shoulder feels. Good. And since we're up here and we have our legs over to the right, we're going to come into a seated twist here. So you can kind of pad up your buttocks if you want a little bit more height. Just kind of fold the blanket. And we're going to take our left fingers behind us, allowing the left shoulder bone to move back, and the right hand comes to the outer left thigh. Both sitting bones are descending toward the earth. As you inhale, let your spine lift tall, and as you exhale, guide your low belly toward the left. If it feels clear for your neck, let your head turn toward the left shoulder. And let just your head slowly turn its gaze toward the right shoulder as you take a breath. And as you exhale, unwind your spine all the way back to center and pause. And let the legs stretch out. Shake them out. And then take the legs over to the left. Sitting bones releasing down. Right fingers come behind you and left hand rests on outer right thigh. Before you go anywhere, plug into the earth. Then rise up through your heart and draw the low belly toward the right thigh. Moving that nectar of your breath from the pelvis, let it coat and nourish your spine all the way through your neck. And then allow the head to turn toward the right any amount. Allow your head only to turn back toward your left shoulder. And slowly unwind your spine all the way back to center and pause. Let's stretch our legs out, shake them out. If you don't already have padding under the hips, let's bring padding there. You can kind of double stack the blanket. We're going to come to the front edge of the blanket and let our pelvis tilt forward here. And we're going to play a little bit in fire log pose and nourish the joints of our hips. So we're going to take our feet out in front of us, and we're going to take the left foot underneath the right foot and let the knee release out. We can always bring a block under that left knee. And then we're going to take a hold behind the right thigh, take a hold of the right ankle, and we're moving that ankle to rest on the left thigh. The right knee is going to release any amount down toward the earth. So it's okay if the knee's up here. We're just going to allow gravity to help release this right hip joint. So just take a few breaths here, bringing that nectar into the blossom of your hips, breathing life into your hip joints. If there's an invitation for your hips to hinge, for you to hinge forward here at the hips, you can let the heart move forward any amount, just being mindful of joints. You can pulse in and out with your breath. We still want the shoulders to feel good back home right now. Heart open. Heart is leading the way forward. And then let the heart come rise back up, and we'll help our right leg unwind. We'll help the left leg unwind. We'll shake the legs out. We'll bend the knees again. We'll take the right foot under the left and let the right knee release out. So we're in this 90-degree angle as best as we can. We can always bring the block in. Then we take a hold of the left thigh and that left ankle, and we gingerly position it on that right thigh and let the left knee open toward the earth, where we also can bring a block under that knee. Do you want another block? We're just going to let it release. Yeah, it wants to. It wants to. We just want to breathe. We want to breathe. We want our ankles to be in that kind of nice flexion. Yeah. Fire log pose. The hydrant pose. Settle the energy down into your pelvic bowl and the hips. Just bringing that energy there. There's an invitation, maybe there is, to hinge at the hips, to let the heart move forward. The shoulders are moving back. They're giving the heart space to move forward. And the support on the back of the heart. Sometimes we open our heart, we have to lean in, we have to feel into the opportunity, the opening. How does it feel in our heart, in our body? And sometimes we feel into something and we say yes. And sometimes we feel into something and we say thank you, but no thank you. So let's slowly come out like this pose. You might be being like, thank you, no thank you. And that's all good, because it's all an invitation. All right, let's uncross the legs, shake them out. Let's make our way onto our backs. Let's have at least just a block within reach. Let's have our blanket under the head if we would like support, and let's make that support less than an inch height. And let's make our way onto the earth, hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe that rocking action side to side. And let's take our knees apart, thread our arms inside of the shins, take a hold of either the big toes or the pinky side of the feet, and let the feet move toward the sky and the knees release toward the earth into happy baby. If you know where your kidney 1 point is on the base of your foot, right in that indentation of big toe mound and second toe mound, you can pulse your kidney 1 here in happy baby. Strengthening our kidney energy is going to only help our adrenals to be healthy. Then let's let the feet release one at a time to the mat, hip distance apart. We're going to gently tuck each shoulder blade underneath the upper back. And we're going to do a little bit of massaging on our body for our lymphatic points, helping to clear the body of toxins. So we're going to take our right fingers and we're going to come over to the left upper corner of our chest where our arm meets our chest, and we're going to massage here, helping our heart to clear any anxiety that's not serving us, overwhelm, panic. We're taking deep breaths in here and we'll exhale out the mouth with that HA sound. All is well, all will be well. Returning to the well of our breath, the well of peace that resides not outside of us, but within. Good. Now we're going to take our left hand over to that same spot over on the right upper corner of the chest. We also have an opportunity to clear toxins from the stomach here and releasing the emotion of worry that can hang out through our stomach channel. We release out these energies so that the balancing energies flow in. Joy, trust. Good. Now we're going to bring our hands to the bottom of our sternum and massage under the sternum and under the low ribs, just kind of back and forth here as we clear our small intestine of toxins. The small intestine informs our heart, what to keep, what is pure, what is true, and what is not, what needs to be released from our body, physically and energetically. Good. Now we're gonna we'll just let the hands shake out. That's such a good way to discharge. We're gonna go to one more spot here on our pubic bone, and we're just gonna massage across the pubic bone. We can do circles, we can just rub back and forth. One more breath here. Good. Let the hands shake out and let the arms rest by your sides. We're going to help move those toxins out of the body here with the breath. And we're going to come into our moving bridge pose. Feet are rooted, hands are grounded. We'll tuck the tailbone under, scoop the buttocks, lift the hips into our bridge pose. And as we exhale, we'll soften our back body and let it rest back to the earth. Pressing down through the feet, scoop the buttocks, lift the hips. Lower vertebrae by vertebrae, then the hips back down. Option to move the arms up and overhead as the hips rise up. Lowering them down as your hips lower. And we'll let our hips rise up. We'll come into our bridge pose. Let's bring our arms down to our sides, rooting down into the earth. On your next exhale, lower vertebrae by vertebrae, back to the mat. Good. Now we're going to straighten our left leg on the mat. We're going to draw our right knee in toward the chest, and now we're going to take our block. We're going to take our block a couple feet out from our left hip, just straight out to that second level height. And now we're all going to roll into our left hip, and that right knee and shin are going to make contact with the block. The left arm is extended out, palm open, and the right hand is going to meet the left palm as they pancake together. You got it. As you inhale, the right arm will reach up toward the sky, and exhale behind you as the right shoulder blade releases. And then you'll bring your pancake here back together. So you'll move with your breath in and out of this opening the heart and closing the heart. Eventually, you can explore that right shoulder blade and arm releasing either on the ground or toward the ground. And you can stay here and let the chest open toward the sun. And then slowly release onto your back. Let the right leg stretch out and rest. We'll set our hips underneath us again. We'll bend the left knee and move our block over a couple feet out from the right hip bone. You'll need to adjust it based on your leg. And we'll roll onto our right hip, resting that left knee and chin on the block. Right arm stretching out, head resting on the blanket. Arms pancake to begin with the closed channel of the heart. And with your breath, opening up the heart wings. Exhaling the left arm behind you and toward the earth. Yeah, pulsing with your breath. You decide when the invitation is there to explore the left shoulder blade resting on or near the mat in this open heart toward the sun. And when you're ready, transitioning onto your back, setting your hips underneath you again as we stretch out into Shavasana, finding your supportive position to rest. If you'd like an eye pillow in the room, raise your hand. Beginning to slowly reawaken your body. Moving and stretching in the ways that are feeling good to you. Maybe the arms would like to stretch overhead as you point and flex your ankles and feet into a yummy full body stretch. Letting it carry you onto your side. Pausing to let your heart relax toward the ground. Feel the earth supporting you as you bring yourself back up into a comfortable seated posture. Uniting your hands together in front of your heart. Let's close our time chanting Om together as we take a deep breath in together. Thank you for being here this morning, ladies. Have such a beautiful day. Namaste.